Okay, welcome everyone to creating posters and videos. This is the third workshop, part of our trainings for all candidates running in the SU officer elections. Thank you if you're watching this or if you're here in person. My name is Gergana and I'm the Communications and Engagement Manager at the SU. So today, in this very, very short workshop, I'm going to talk about some tips on how you can have the best posters and videos, and hopefully they'll help you win lots of votes and win the role that you're running for. I'm going to start by saying that today we're going to talk about three main things: your message and objective for creating these posters and videos. We'll talk about digital and print marketing materials in general, so not only posters and videos, which we said is the focus of this workshop, but in general, what other ideas we can have, what are the digital print marketing materials you can think of, and I can give you as suggestions. And then we will talk about social media a little bit, because as well as using print materials, you'll probably want to advertise on social media as well. I'm sure you would. Okay. So I'm going to start by asking you to think about what would be your main message. So when we're trying to communicate something to people, regardless of this is through a poster, a social media post, a poster, we always want to have a message. We always want to have some sort of call for action, or we want to inform them, to tell them something that's happening. So in every single post that you create, you need to have a message. Otherwise, what would be the point of it? So overall, your campaign needs to have a strong message as well. You've already listened to or attended the manifesto workshop, so you should probably have already outlined what would be your key manifesto points and messages, so you can use them as your message. But then I would go as far as saying you should select one thing. I know that in your manifesto you probably have 5 or 3 main points, but if you want to reach as many voters as possible, I would say that you can even narrow this down to one very short message, which can be a mix of all of your manifesto points, or you can focus on just one. And if you have this one message that's everywhere and that's really easy to communicate, I think this will really help you in your overall marketing campaign. Bradley, do you want to add anything here?
Yeah, just if you're listening to this and you haven't watched the manifesto session yet, watch that. You're probably on the web page where it is, so it's just above. But yeah, in that I say my advice is to start your campaign with the manifesto, because that's a chance for you to sit and think about what would make you, why would people think you would be a good officer? What are your selling points, and what are the things you want to achieve in that role? Why are you running for that role? So really a manifesto is a chance to sit and think about that and come up with that message that Gergana is talking about. So my advice is always start with your manifesto, and then all of the rest of it comes from that. So, when you're creating videos, when you're creating posters, when you're planning what you're going to say to students during voting week, all of that is a lot easier to figure out if you've got your manifesto there and you thought about what that message is. So yeah, my advice is always to start there.
Yeah, absolutely. First pants, then trousers. You have to really do the manifesto first. The whole marketing side of it is very important, but it's just vanity and glitzer compared to the actual content, which is like a manifesto on your ideas, basically. So definitely do that first. And then once you have this clear idea in your head, try to write it down, try to summarize it in a sentence if you can. Something that students will remember and associate your campaign with. If you have any questions and if you want any help, I can help you. If you email me, I'll give exactly the same support to anyone who emails me, so it will be equal. So yeah, feel free to message me, but definitely think about summarizing your ideas. And then when you create something, a social media post, an account, a TikTok, a meme, think about why you're doing it. What's the point of it? Don't do something for the sake of doing it because everyone else is doing it, for example. What are your objectives? So for example, objectives of your comms campaign could be voters know my name. So my first objective is for voters to know my name, for voters to know my face. So how would I achieve that? I will include a picture of myself. The posters, easy. Voters associate me with. If you want voters to associate you with sustainability, maybe talk about sustainability, have green colors and blue skies and something that makes it very relatable and easy for them to say, oh yeah, this is the person who was campaigning about something to do with sustainable campus, for example. And then voters can outline that one of my manifesto points is X. It is highly unlikely that a lot of students, like if you stop a random student on campus, they'll be able to name all 3 of your manifesto points. That's quite unlikely. Only people who are like really devoted and like support you and have read your manifesto from start to finish will be able to name them. So that's quite a challenging thing to have as an objective. But if your objective is voters can outline one of my points, then that's more manageable. Have something that you know that it's easy to remember and people will know about you. I will discuss in a bit how you can achieve that. But these are just 4 objectives. They're examples. You can have your own, you can have different ones. But I think these are manageable. And if you focus on them, you have a very good chance of winning. And then we'll talk about the marketing material. So how do you actually achieve these objectives? So you have your message, you've decided what are you going to communicate, and now you're wondering how you're going to do that. And probably some things come to your mind pretty quickly because you've seen them everywhere and everyone's doing it, so you'll be doing it as well, which is great. So for example, we can have posters around campus. So if you are attending university in person, because I know some students are still online, it's very different for everyone, but if you are a candidate who has a physical space to go to, then putting some posters around is a very good idea. Obviously, you have to respect where you do that, stick to notice boards, etc. But that's a great way to do that. But if you have a physical space, you could do something even bigger and more interesting, like a more interactive marketing tool that people can engage with. And you can relate this to your manifesto point. So I'll give you as an example, what we wanted to achieve at our refreshers fair was to tell students that there will be a summer ball. We don't want to sell tickets. We just want to let them know that this is happening, so that they start planning, thinking about it. So what we did is we ordered like an interactive stand-in photo opportunity where they could like put their face in a hole and take a picture of a gentleman and a lady in like a dressing gown and a formal clothes basically, and they could take pictures with that. So that's what I mean by something interactive that people can engage with. This costed, I think, £35, so it's not very much. So if you can think of something similar that can work with your campaign, doesn't have to be a photo opportunity, but if it's something that people can actually do, definitely get in touch with us and we can help you facilitate this. We can ask for permission for the space, for example, because you have to ask and you have to make sure that this is done in a safe way. But definitely ask us and we'll try and help you. Other things are an Instagram account, a Facebook group or a Facebook page. People have done either or both in some cases in the past. There are pros and cons to both of these. In the group, people can discuss more. The page is potentially visible to more people. Then you have in this Instagram account that you've created, you can have Instagram Reels. They're very popular right now. Everyone's like scrolling Reels all day, so they're quick and easy to make. So you have the potential to go viral if you do a really good one. And then if you are a TikTok user or you want to be, there's that as well. We do ask you to let us know all of your accounts that you'll be using. because we monitor them just to make sure there's nothing offensive, you're following the code of conduct, you're not doing anything that's abusive, nothing that's illegal. So we just keep an eye on the social media accounts that you have. But that's basically. It's up to you what you post there. You don't need to ask us for permission. We just keep an eye on things, if that makes sense. People have done lots of memes in the past, which are really funny and a really good way to engage. And it's a very good idea to have one official promo video, which is like a campaign video. If you think of like politicians running in elections, they normally have like a professionally shot video. You don't need a professional to do that. You can do that at home with your phone and some props that you have laying around, but you can still think about how to make this video happen. What do you want to include in it? So these are just some ideas. Sometimes when people get really creative and start thinking about these really funny things, they have all of these ideas, they forget to include some key information, which is actually very important to achieve the objectives that we started with. And they are to include your name, your photo, the role you're running for, and how to vote. So your name, it's a must. It has to appear on everything, regardless of what it is. You have to have your name there so that students know who you are. Your photo, if you can, check the picture that you have on MSL, the picture that's going to appear on the ballot when people go to vote. And if you can use the same one, that will be even easier for some voters who might have seen your promotional material somewhere, but maybe didn't remember your name. And now they see and recognize you and they go, oh yeah, that's this person, I'm going to vote for them. So this is just in an ideal world. If you can have the same photo, that's great. If not, just a photo of you. Just have a photo there. Don't leave the gray silhouette of like a person to sit there. Definitely upload one. Mention the role you're running for. Very important when people miss that all the time. And how to vote. Every single poster, video, whatever should have this call for action. And to make life easy for people, you should always include the link. I know on Instagram this is not always the easiest, so you can always have your bio. You can add this to your bio, or to have like any website that provides that, like Linktree or any other one. I can give you the links at the end, but basically include how to vote. Show them, even like screen record your phone showing them how to vote. We will also be doing that and showing people, but you also have to make it really easy for them. Bradley, do you want to join here?
Yeah, all of this, I think what might be useful is explain how the ballot appears to make it clear to candidates how important this is. So when people go to vote during voting week, they will be presented with a list of positions they are eligible to vote for. Let's say president education role, they'll click on that, and they will be presented with the photos and names of each candidate, and then they can click a button below that to see their manifesto. But that is basically all they'll see. So Gugala is exactly right. If you haven't made it really clear what your name is and what you look like, even if you've done an amazing pitch and convinced this person that you're a fantastic candidate, all of that effort will be wasted if they can't remember, if they can't see what your name is on the leaflet you've given them, or the social media post you shared, or they don't have a clue what you look like, and they're not going to be able to vote for you. And also, if you've not told them where they can go and vote, if they see your poster on campus or they see one of your leaflets on campus and think, oh, that's brilliant, I want to vote for this, they don't know how to then go and vote, then again, you've done a great job, but then you've wasted that effort because they don't know what to do. The only thing I would add is, if you have space, tell them when the deadline to vote is as well. So the last day to vote will be on the Sunday the 13th, I think it is. If someone sees some of your campaigning on that Sunday and think, yeah, I'll vote for them, but I'll do it tomorrow, then you've lost that vote because the polls will have closed. So let them know when the last chance that there is for them to vote is, so that they do it in time.
Great points. And then some ideas for a slogan. You've probably seen that a lot of campaigns, student union ones, and in general have a slogan. So this is like a short, snappy and original phrase that goes with the poster or the social media post, something that people remember or associate this candidate with. You don't have to have a slogan. This is not like a must. However, it adds fun to your campaign, and if you can think of a good one, you should definitely go for it. If you need a starting point, here are a few ideas. You can link it to your name. Have a think about, how does your name sound? Are there any words that go well with it? Definitely have it very short. Try using an alliteration. This is overused in marketing because it works. Use puns, make it funny. Humor always wins. People like laughing, and if you have something that is funny, people are more likely to remember it. Definitely link it to something modern and memorable, something that is viral right now, something that people talk about right now. And obviously, all of your slogan ideas or your slogan that you decide to go with, and all of your content in general needs to follow all election guidelines. So you can't include anything abusive, disrespectful, something that's not okay to say in person. You don't want to have it in your written marketing material either. So be very careful with that. But other than that, really be creative. If you're unsure, you can always ask us. We really wanted to keep this video short, which is why I haven't gone into the detail of showing you a million videos and slogans and posters from years before. However, I've done that in last year's workshop, which you can watch. Bradley will email you the link, but I'll also include that in the description of this video, in the YouTube link. I'm going to include the link of the previous workshop. So what you can do for even more ideas, you can watch, there are 2 videos from last year, one about posters and one about videos. So if you watch them, they will give you a very detailed idea of what students in other universities have done in the past. And there we look very closely at some examples and why they're good and when they're not so good. And we watch some videos together. So if you can invest an hour, I'd definitely recommend doing that, because sometimes when you're stuck and you don't know just where to start, when you see what someone else has done, that can really help you. You can tweak the idea a little bit to make it yours, but having a starting point is very useful. If you don't want to watch the workshops, that's fine. You can do the research yourself. I mean, I've done it for you, so that'll be easier. But if you don't want to, you can do the research yourself. Just type in student union elections, and you can waste 20 hours on the internet watching videos and looking at posters, because there's so many from so many students unions around the country and abroad. There are loads from America. So yeah, have a look. You could borrow a marketing concept either from another issue or just from out there. Like, what was your favorite brand? Is there something that you really like about how they present themselves? Can you make it yours? That's not illegal. If you make it yours, if you personalize it, if you tweak the words, you can do that, absolutely. Because you're not creating a brand here. That's not a business. That's just your campaign to get the role. So you're allowed to do that. You should definitely start planning now. Obviously, once you've done your manifesto and you've decided on your ideas, I know Bradley will talk more about creating a team and how to have an overall successful campaign and how important the team is for that. But if you already know someone who is really good at design or who is really good at video editing, you can approach them now and you can say, I'm planning on running in the SU officer elections. I really need someone really good to help me. And that will be great for you as well, because it will give you experience to test your graphic design skills and your ideas. You want to help me. And there are lots of people who will be willing to do that. And once you create some mock draft designs and slogans, and calls for action. You can always test them. You can always ask your friends to give you feedback. Ask them, what do you think about that? Does it sound good? And when you look at this poster, do you think of nature or do you think of nightclubs? Like, what vibe does it give you? And then once you've got some feedback from students, you can refine the idea. Basically, if no one associated this poster with the thing you wanted them to associate the poster with, then that's not good. You have to refine it, change the colors maybe, and so on. It's a good idea to stick to the same color theme and font throughout your campaign so that students recognize it, but this is not the most important thing. But if you can stick to the same design, I think that will only give you brownie points and it will make it easier for the voters to recognize you so you can stand out. And then once you've done all of that, preferably before voting opens, you can have a plan of when you're going to post what and schedule your content so that you don't waste any time during voting, because you want to use voting week for talking to students. The best campaign in the world would mean nothing in terms of digital content if you haven't discussed your ideas and if you've not spoken to students. Speaking to students is the most important thing. Spending your time to actually talk to people is the best thing you can do. As I said, all the marketing stuff is vanity and glitter and can get you lots of votes, but going and talking to people is so personal and is what sometimes gets you the few votes that you need to win over someone else. What resources you can use? Well, I'm sure you all have a smartphone, but in case that you don't, you can ask someone to lend them theirs. But the best resources are your phone, Instagram Reels. The software is already there. You don't need any special video editing software to use it. You just record short clips and it does it for you. So that's already there. Canva, there is a free version of Canva with amazing drafts for anything that you can think of, like slogans, banners, posters, flyers, anything. Like, it's already there. It's a draft. You just change the words, make it yours. Done. Your friends are a great resource, and your friends have so many skills. One is good at photography, one is good at writing, one is good at talking to people. Use them. They're a great resource. All the royalty-free content on the internet that you can find, images, music, videos, they're all yours to use. And you are your best resource. I hope you already know that. In terms of videos, I only have a few very short tips to give you. Don't spend ages on it if you're not confident. That'll be my first one. But I'm expecting that a lot of people will be doing videos because they're very trendy right now. And if you really want to do that as well, some ideas are to act out film scenes, to sing songs. They can be like original ones that you've created, or you can rewrite the lyrics of a popular song. Definitely use props at home, make it funny. You're not recording like a professional single. You want it to be fun. You can use your hairbrush as a microphone or whatever. You want it to be like really entertaining. Definitely minimize background noise, and if you can, record the audio separately. You don't need any specialist equipment to do that. You can do it on your phone, you can do it on Zoom, you can do it in Audacity, which is free to download. So it will just help a lot rather than recording, for example, outside and then there is wind and all sorts of background noise, which will make it really difficult for people to hear what you have to say. So if you can record that separately and then just add it to the video, that'll be really, really useful. Bradley, do you want to say something here?
Yeah, just don't let perfection be your enemy here. I think it's very easy. Obviously, you want to produce something as well as you can, but don't agonize over making a video perfect, because it's better to have more content out there, and particularly videos, because videos will be really engaging, much more engaging than text or even images. So don't agonize for hours over trying to make a video perfect. If it's good enough, get it out there and get voters seeing it. I think particularly, in this day and age, maybe 10 years ago, videos were less common, but now people are doing videos every day on Instagram and TikTok, and they're not slick, polished videos. So people are used to seeing sort of slightly amateur videos, and that's what people engage with all the time anyway. So in some ways, it might almost be more relatable to have videos that are slightly amateurish than like a really slick professional. Obviously, if you've got the time and the skill to do that, go ahead. But don't agonize over making your videos perfect. It's better to have something that's good and out there than taking ages to have something that's perfect and then not getting as many people to see it because you put it out there too late.
No, absolutely. I agree 100%. These were just tips if you want to, what you can do in case you were recording and then you see that it sounds really bad. What you could do is you could record it separately. You could cut all the ums, because when we speak, we naturally have these pauses when we talk. So if you have too many of them and you're a little bit worried that you don't look confident and people will think, oh, I'm having too many ums in my speech, maybe you can cut them, but only if you have time, you feel confident. If you have a friend who can help you, definitely delegate. But as Bradley said, this is not the most important thing. It's better to get it out there and done is better than perfect. When you're recording, think about where you're posting this video. So if you want it for Instagram, definitely record it vertically. If you want it for Facebook, a horizontal one. Otherwise, you have the black spots at the top at the end, you know what I mean? Which is not the end of the world again. But if you're recording it anyway and you're wondering how to do it, think about the platform where you're planning to post it. And then if you're sponsoring ads, because this is an election, this is a student politics election, but regardless that it is an election, you are obliged to declare that this is a social and political issue. So when you go to sponsor the ad, there's like a button that you click. It says a political issues category, which you have to tick. And then they might ask you to upload a proof of identity so that it's actually you who is sponsoring this ad. So they might want you to take a picture of your identity card, passport, something like that. If you want to sponsor an app, but yeah, you have to do that. This is like you're going against Facebook's guidelines, community guidelines, if you don't declare it. And then in terms of copyright, if you're using an Instagram account, which is set to personal, not business, you can use the music for your reels and stories, like all the music available out there, like popular songs, tunes, like that everyone knows. You can use them because they don't leave the platform. Basically, you're not downloading it from there to use it somewhere else. You're using it in the platform, so there's no copyright issue there. If you want to use it here, you can use it here. If you have a business account, that's different. So if you create your page as a business account, you wouldn't be allowed to use any of the music, but you'll be able to see stats. You'll be able to see how many people looked at your post and what's their demographic, how many of them are men, women, in which area they, at what time of the day were they active, and things like that. So it's up to you which one is more important. I think a personal account is better because of the music. But if you're really good at understanding statistics and analyzing the results and think that you'll benefit from knowing the demographic that looked at your account, then do a business one. It does matter. It's up to you. And then for any other videos that you want to use, like on Facebook or YouTube, just use royalty-free music, images, or video, or record your own if you are transforming the lyrics of a well-known song. And then on TikTok, the same as on Instagram. If you do it on the platform, everything stays there. You don't have an issue with copyright. And my next point is one like is not enough. So you have to ask your friends, your campaign team, everyone who supports you to like, save, share, comment on all of your content on social media, because that's how the algorithm will pick it up as something that's worth showing to people. Because once you post something, the platform is going to show it to less than 10% of your followers. So you really need people to engage with it so that the platform can show it to more people. So you should talk to everyone who supports you and wants you to succeed, and ask them to engage with the content, watch it, save it, share it, send it to people, so that it goes up and up, and people actually see it. And that was everything from me. I'm keeping it very short, as I said, but you can ask me any questions that you have now or later. Just email me or message me on social media, and I'll be happy to help you.
Yeah. And just a reminder, thanks, Gagana. It's a great loads of ideas there. I'm sure anyone watching this will suddenly be filled with lots of ideas to go and start setting up their campaign. Just a reminder not to launch anything publicly until voting week. So go ahead and create Facebook pages and Instagram accounts and all the rest of it, but keep them private until the 9 a.m. on the 9th of March, which is when voting opens. I think particularly if you're using things like Instagram, you get the way, because it still might appear in your in a suggested account for people to follow if they're already following you. So keep to avoid that issue, try and keep the usernames and the blurbs elections free until the start of voting week, and then you can change them to have stuff about elections in. But we'll put more details on the website about how to keep accounts private and things like that. So yeah, so go ahead, start scheduling posts, creating accounts, all the rest of it, but don't be sharing links to them or putting out public posts or anything about that yet. And keep them private for now. And a reminder that our next session is on Monday, 21st February at 1 p.m. We're going to sort of be pulling together all the stuff from the last few sessions and talking about how to bring it all together and run a great ground campaign.
Lovely. Thank you all very much.